Well, today's the day. Time to address the pantry. It was not bad when it was just the two of us and the dog, but that's not where life is now. And we have my daughter moving home, and my husband just went grocery shopping. And so this is my pantry right now. And I still have all of this food to get in here. And part of me doesn't want it on camera because I'm a bit overwhelmed. I can feel it in my chest, but there's nothing to it but to do it. And I thought that I would turn on the camera, bring you along so I can talk out where I'm going and what I want and how I'm gonna organize. So I had to do a little research on organization. So let's get everything out and we can talk about that. If I'm being honest, this is one of the parts that's the hardest for me. Actually, I've never had a massive pantry, even when all three kids were at home, but I had a bigger house with more, well, I had a full basement, let's be honest. I don't have a basement, I have a shed, that's it, the whole kit and caboodle. So there's a couple things I need to pull out here, figure out what I want to do with them, if it's of value to keep them, and I'm gonna work that out and talk that through with you. I mean, thermos for coffee, priority. Ice bucket, struggle, I don't know. Olive oil, like whatever. But this guy, I love this pot. It's an inanimate object. I love this pot. It's heavy, it's copper, it's so massive. And I've made big stocks in this in the past, but I don't know if that's where my season is right now. I'm gonna have to do a think about it on here. And then here is some larger boxes, but mostly like our entertaining box, paper products for parties and things like that. And so I have to revisit that. And then my big baking pans, because I still love to bake, don't fit anywhere else. But also, you all know, when you don't pull anything out for a while, the schmang that builds up. So I have to clean this out, wipe this out, and then clear out these ugly wire shelves. So hang on, here we go. So what I think I'm going to do is I have an extra bin that I had once held scarves and gloves and stuff, winter storage, but now I have the dresser, but now I have the dresser down in my foyer that was in my daughter's room that now she's not utilizing. And I put the scarves and stuff in that drawer so it can stay there right by the door. And I actually really like that, but now I have this empty bin. And so what I think I'm gonna do, even though I'm not a fan of stacking, I don't have a ton of room in here, in that bin with a lid, I'm going to put my paper products, party supply stuff, since I don't access it all the time, and use that as a secondary level for some larger bulk items so I can get to those, but not have a ton piled on piled. And we'll see how it goes. These are some of the bulk items that I struggle with. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when we go through this, one of my biggest struggles, and I don't know if it's the mission work from Guatemala or upbringing or value system. Hey Jane, come on in the camera. I really struggle with food waste. So it really upsets me, and I feel, for me, it feels ungrateful for what we've been afforded. And so I will often eat things like, I will trudge through food I don't like because I don't want to throw it out. And it grieves my heart if something goes to waste or rots. So I try very hard when I organize my meals. I don't meal prep like some people do. I look at what I have and that's how I decide what's for dinner. I don't make a meal and then go to the grocery store So there are some things in here, I'll talk it through with you later, but food waste is a struggle for me. It's a really big hang up. So even though if someone else didn't struggle with it, I know that they might be able to let some of this stuff go a little easier than I can, but everyone has their cross to bear. This is a coffee maker from way back in the day. When our coffee maker broke, my Meemaw had it in the basement, and everyone has that Meemaw that lived through the Great Depression, and she keeps everything. Like, I go down in her basement, and I'm pretty sure if I looked really hard, I could find Al Capone's body. Like, that's how much stuff she keeps. But this is supposed to fill up 2 to-go cups, and we used that while we were trying to decide what kind of coffee maker we wanted. And now for some reason I can't part with it. Even though we don't use it, it's not good and has not enough coffee. Not enough coffee for us. I'm gonna let this go. Oh, my apron, that's where it is. Oh. This is also how I knew that the pantry needed to be addressed. My husband is so sweet. Like, he does the grocery shopping in our house, and like, he comes back like a warrior from the kill. He is like, look at all of that I got you for $42. Like, he lives for it. I hate shopping. I hate shopping. I hate shopping. And I'll come back with 2 bags, and he looks up and he's unimpressed, and he's like, what, did you spend $200 for that 2 bags? Because I just go and grab, and I don't hunt, and he's just so much better at that stuff than me. But he came back, and we already had one. And I know he bought it because he didn't know that we already had one, and that told me pantry's too full. You need to address it, Celinda. So we're like 4 minutes in, and I'm already struggling. So I'm gonna do the tip that I told you guys about a couple videos ago, the 15-minute timer. I'm gonna set the timer in 15 minutes, and that engages the competitiveness in myself and also gives me permission to step away if I need to at the end of 15 minutes. So because I need it right now, I'm setting the timer. And honestly, as we get through this, I hope you're doing something too. I hope I'm going on in the background and you're like, that girl's crazy, but you're also feeling motivated to join in. So let's clean something out. I'm gonna set the timer. See, this is one of the things I was telling you about that I struggle with. These things, my mom actually sent them to my daughter when she was in college for her to have as snacks in her apartment, and she didn't like them. And so when she moved home, she brought them, and I can't bear to throw them out because I feel like they're probably expensive. I know the minimal mom's probably losing her mind right now, so I'm like, let it go. But I keep putting one in my lunch every day because I'm the only one who will be miserable for a cause, and I hope to get through these. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So in 10 days, if I pack my lunch every day with one of these will be gone. Come on. We tear up some onions, and in matter of fact, if I was a little more dedicated, I wanted to try and start another channel because I just think it's the funniest thing. I live in a little condominium unit, and we have this postage stamp of a little piece of land that I'm allowed to garden on. And I just want to start this thing called HOA Homestead, where I'm just trying to do homesteading on my little condominium unit. But the whole point in telling you that is I want to grow my own onions, and I'm going to try it this next. Also, my mom sent her applesauce, and she doesn't like applesauce, so also these have been in my lunch too. So I'm really excited because I had cleaned out my spice drawer the other weekend with you. I had this whole third shelf that I wasn't using, and we have ice cream salt and kosher salt and things like that we use when it's oyster season around here. And there are these big bins, and I can't fit them anywhere, and they can fit up there, and they don't have to go in the pantry. Are you feeling my excitement? Okay, these sugar cubes. like, these are the dumb things that hang us up, but we spent money on these because my husband does enjoy a good old-fashioned at the end of a long week. And these sugar cubes, original old-fashioned calls for the sugar cubes, and I just remember as a child seeing sugar cubes, watching movies, and they'd be like, 1 lump or 2. And I just thought that was the most sophisticated thing. Again, I've said it before, my world is very small. We never use these. He doesn't actually like the sugar cube in there, so I was keeping them in a bag because I thought, or because I have this affinity for what I believe truly classy people use. So I'm actually gonna let this go. And it hurts my heart, but I can't even bake with them, really. Well, if any of you had an idea of what you could have used these sugar cubes for other than an old-fashioned, I would love to know. Frank's having an inordinate amount of beans, and that leads to 1,000 jokes that are going on in my head, so I'm just giggling to myself while I'm doing this with beans and Jinkies. It's okay. I just moved your tea.
I saw that.
You have a problem with tea. I'm confronting her publicly. You have a problem with tea.
I enjoy tea.
Okay, it took a little longer than 15 minutes, like 20 more minutes. And even though I don't have everything matching, which ultimately and somewhere in my head, I would love for it to be that way, I can see everything. I know where everything is and I can get to it. I think I may make some labels, but I just use painter's tape and black marker. And now I just have to use up that onion, which I'll chop up to use in dinner. I'm going to bake some muffins for Chris and Lauren for breakfast and finish putting away the fruit. But what was a very, very overwhelming situation is now far, far more manageable. I forgot to mention, I also found a home for the big baking sheets. I actually had room when I had downsized another cabinet with our baking pans. It actually fits in there perfectly, and gosh, sometimes you just have to revisit a situation. Everything's always evolving and always changing. But the pantry is done. I am super proud of it. It doesn't look Pinterest worthy, but it is usable, and I'm very proud of what I did in 30 minutes. And guys, if you're feeling inspired, I hope you give it a try too. Bye-bye.